Okay, this is part 2 to the Puppet Fazbear Friday show. So if you haven't seen part 1, go watch that, and you could watch this one afterwards.
Or else Freddy will eat your brain.
Yeah, Spring, did you ever watch the Eth Goes Boom series?
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's okay. He would, from what I remember, I stopped watching him recently. He used, when Ultimate Custom Night was coming out, he would, just do news on the animatronics mechanics, but he would do voices for every single one of them.
Oh wait.
Do you remember his voice for the puppet? It was so funny.
I don't really know what you're talking. Like, I know there are some YouTubers that play and commentate as if they are like a FNAF animatronic. Like, first video, like Foxy plays like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Freddy plays blah blah blah.
Yeah, he would do that. He would do that.
I maybe saw some of his videos, though I'm not sure if that was him. So yeah.
Yeah, he would have so many different voices, and they would all talk to each other. It was so cool, and his voice for the puppet was like, "Oh, hello, Spring Bunny. It's time for me to." I loved his voice for the puppet. It was great.
Okay. Now let's talk about the puppet.
So moving on to FNAF 3, Puppet's remains can be seen in Fazbear Frights along with the toy robots who were scrapped. Also, Phantom Puppet appears as a hallucination.
Yeah. You know, like, people theorize that, like, we can see, like, Puppet's mask on the wall.
Yes.
And people theorize that, like, when Puppet is in the room, the lights are dim. And so people theorize that the Puppet is taking its mask.
Yeah,
like,
the mask
we
disappears.
can't see mask because it's dark. But when the picture is lighted, you can actually see the outline of the mask. So, basically, there are two masks of Puppet in the same room at the same time. The new universe will end now.
That one could be security mask.
Well, I don't know. I don't believe the security puppet was created until FNAF 6, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a different animatronic.
Yeah,
and
it's
its
safe to
mask
say.
looks different from the one in Fazbear Fright, so yeah, I don't think it's security puppet.
Yeah.
I think it's either just like there were two different puppets in different locations, like.
Yep.
Or I think it also might just be like a prop, just like, hey, there was this animatronic, like we can't find it, so let's create this mask.
That's really smart. That is probably what some of that stuff is, at least, because that's a really good detail.
Yeah, probably.
Puppet, you can see his reflection in the water, so people thought it was the real Puppet and not a phantom.
Yeah, in the hallway, the other phantoms don't have reflections, while Puppet in the hallway does.
Oh, the other phantoms don't?
What?
The other phantoms don't?
Yeah. Well, except for I'm not sure. Like, there is a theory that the Phantom Mangle has something over reflection on the floor, though it's not really clear.
Yeah.
But there is a theory that Phantom Mangle is an actual mangle, just like Puppet.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Though there's not much explanation for that one.
Did you ever? This is another Blackfoot Ferret theory, but he said that the phantoms were the ghosts that they scare Springtrap. The reason they scared him is because they looked like the phantoms.
I don't believe it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think it's just hallucinations or agony.
Yeah,
or something like that.
They probably didn't look very good to him.
Puppet looks like in the hallway. Puppet doesn't look like a phantom, and so she has a reflection. So perhaps it means that Puppet is real in the hallway. And
Yeah.
you know, Now let me get onto the old lore that
Yeah.
I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
So back in the day, there was like the lore was basically like this. So the puppet got killed. The kid, we didn't know the kid's name back then.
Yeah.
And she came back, and she brought other children back to life to revenge the purple guy. So she had a revenge on purple guy.
Yep.
And then at the end, like in FNAF, and then they got their revenge and made him stuck in the suit.
Yep.
And back then we did not know about agony and the remnant and all of that. And so we thought that Puppet made William stay in the suit to make him suffer. She refused to let him go. She tried to let him. She wanted him to suffer like they did. She wanted him to suffer. And there's a theory that Springtrap burnt the there was a theory that Springtrap was the one who did the fire in FNAF 3.
Yeah.
To make himself set free, but as we see in the newspaper, he was still alive, and there was a theory that Puppet refused on to letting him go. Puppet wanted him to suffer and suffer. So basically, she was the Cassidy back then in the old lore, which is interesting. She was the revengeful spirit of the old lore, and I like that. I think it would be interesting if what if the FNAF would go into different direction, and instead of making Cassidy the revengeful spirit in FNAF Usain, it would be Charlie. It would be really interesting to look at. We know about Charlie much more, and it would have more sense to talk about a character that we already know, that we knew from the start. That we been there for her all this time, we were on her side basically.
Yeah.
I think it would have been much cooler if Charlie was the revengeful spirit.
That's actually a really cool. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
It kind of became Cassidy, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder when that happened.
Probably somewhere probably where the FNAF took a whole new turn at the FNAF sister location. The lore became much different when FNAF SO came out.
You know what was interesting was I had a lot of notes on some of the games, but when I hit sister location, there's almost no mention of the puppet.
Yeah, FNAF, I see FNAF sister location as a reboot of FNAF.
Yeah.
Just like FNAF VR. Kinda a reboot to everything.
Yeah.
So it kinda has the old lore still in it, but kinda reboots it all, just like that.
Yeah. It really does, especially with the intro of the game. It totally changes everything. One thing I've always I talk my brother I talk his ear off about this. Why is sister location? Why does it have little jokes where you're eggs Benedict and stuff? It's a total tonal shift from FNAF 4. Can you imagine any jokes in FNAF 4?
I think the jokes were made just because the game was kind of more it wasn't more scary, but at the same time it was more scary than other games. It was much more darker tones, more and the jump scare were made to be more scary, with the face place opening.
Yeah, it's like a double jump scare. I love them.
Yeah, they are I think the jokes were added just to a little bit made it less dark. Though I think that is the problem with new FNAF. They add too much jokes, unlike the original FNAF.
Yeah, and it stayed consistent with FNAF 6. There were tons of little jokes. and I liked
Yeah,
them.
like-
I liked them, but it was a total tonal shift from FNAF 4.
Yeah, like I think it would be cool to see like all the new games, but in the old aesthetics of now,
Yeah.
like with the old lore connected with the old style, like you know what I mean.
Oh, dude, I love the way you think. That would be so cool.
If I could program and 3D model, I would definitely do that. But that is not my profession. My profession is drawing and theories.
Yeah. Well, you're dang good at them. I'd say that.
Thanks.
In FNAF 3 Happiest Day, Puppet is who we play as in the Happiest Day minigame. And when all the ghosts disappear, the empty masks fall down, Puppets fall slower than the rest.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. You know, like, people theorize that this means that the puppet is like released the last one. Like, it was
Yeah.
the last spirit to be released. And that would, like, that theory came around with FNAF 6, FNAF It's a B now.
Yeah.
So, like, and like some people think that it was even like this, like the Happiest Day was like retcon. Some people think. As,
Oh,
like,
that's the retcon.
Like there are two types of people. One type of people that think that the minigame was moved on to be in the future, like after FNAF SB or something like
Yeah.
that, or after FNAF 6.
Yeah,
And
'cause
some
the
think that
blob.
it was retconned, but I don't think it was retconned. Can I say why?
Yeah.
If we go onto the achievements on Xbox, I think it was on Xbox into FNAF 3, and when you complete the good ending, where the spirits are released,
Yeah.
it says the true end, which perhaps and the ports for FNAF 3 came out like at the same time as FNAF, no, like as FNAF VR.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, and so like if it was retconned, then probably it would say something else, unless it just means that unless it means by true end just as a good ending. But I think it means that it's an actual true ending to the game.
Wow, does it really say that on the Xbox achievements?
Yeah,
That's
true.
That's
end.
awesome.
That was a really interesting, like, I know a lot about FNAF, even those things that I shouldn't. Like, in FNAF World, there was a cancelled attack called Toxic Song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's like a few cut attacks in that game.
Imagine Freddy singing toxic words at you, like, you are a nobody, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You are a nobody, nobody cares about you.
That's funny. That's his toxic song.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I
Oh
forgot.
shoot, I'm sorry. I believe it was Happiest Day, and it's kind of confusing place in the timeline.
Yeah, it is really confusing. And it is really confusing. What is the Happiest Day in all? Like, what is it? Like,
Yeah.
where does it take place? Like, it looks a lot like FNAF 4 location. Like,
Yeah.
and so perhaps it's like a recreation of a birthday for the bite victim. There's kids in masks, which represent the bullies. There's the main kid in Golden Freddy mask, perhaps meaning the bite victim who got beaten by Fazbear and had a friend, Fazbear. Second friend, Fazbear. And so there were balloons and a cake, so perhaps it was a birthday recreation for bite victim. And I think the children in the back in the colorful masks are the children from FNAF 4. So like the pigtails girl, like the toy chica girl, and like balloon boy.
Oh yeah, the balloon guy.
Yeah, the balloon guy. The next murder.
Balloon guy.
Yeah. That actually could be like a horror film.
Balloon guy. I like Ball Boy from FNAF World.
It's pretty interesting, yeah.
Yeah, Brow Boy is
But
funny.
yeah, I like to think that those children from FNAF 4 are these colorful masks children in the FNAF Happiest Day, and I like to believe that those children possess the animatronics who give case to the children who are wearing the classic animatronics.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Just look, like there is a kid in green shirt, and in the mini game there is a kid in green shirt.
Yep, in
there's
Mangle's
a
Quest.
kid with like basically the color match, and so like it could represent which animatronic possesses which kid.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
So something like that, and which is interesting that this matches up with the crocodile mask kid being the Fazbear,
Yeah.
which is like, if it was just like, it's just kind of hard to believe that it could be an coincidence, because like in the Fazbear franchise, the revengeful spirit is a crocodile mask kid, and the revengeful spirit is Fazbear. So this really interesting matches up. So yeah. And like, I like to believe that Puppet and those kids, like they are kind of already free, like they can kind of go if they want to already, but they want to set other kids free, and so like they collect all of the kids together for the birthday, to recreate the birthday for Bite Victim to set him free. Like by giving cakes to the children in the mini games, we free the victims of the murders, the FNAF 1 animatronics, and at the end we free the Bite victim,
Okay.
and then they all go to heaven, I think. And I believe FNAF World, I believe that FNAF World, this spirit with two eyes, is actually the Pigtails girl, just because the eyes are the same color as the Pigtails girl text, which is actually the pink, like, and you know, like, I will put you back together line. It is said not with Fazbear's text, but with the same exact tone as the Pigtails girl text. So perhaps she visited the crying child in a hospital, just like Mike did, and said that she will put him back together. And in FNAF World, she did. Wait, what if like FNAF World is the way the Bite victim sees everything? Like, it's something of a coma, but he's dead.
Yeah.
But he sees this world, and like he's stuck in this world, and like the Pigtail girl helps him to get out of this world, and then in the Happiest Day, the puppet and all of them are making him set free.
Yeah. In the video in a Fury Thursday that I had you do a segment in for me.
Yeah.
I basically said that that's Cassidy talking to Bite Victim, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing, the whole FNAF World thing, but I love your idea that FNAF World is something the I think you said the Bite Victim sees. I like to think that it's you know when the survival logbook says like the party was for you and stuff. That could be referring to Happiest Day, but what if, I've been thinking lately, what if it's referring to FNAF World in general, like it was a giant party?
I don't know. This one is kind of like in question.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Like the all things that I just said, like I like this theory because it just like it connects everything pretty well, and it actually has pretty good proofs, like the color and all of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Players were really mad about the colorful art style of FNAF World.
FNAF World is actually my favorite FNAF game. Like, it's pretty much the only game that I spend a really good amount of like playing. Cause like I have almost all the FNAF games, but I almost don't play them. Cause like I don't have much fun playing them. But FNAF World, I like them, and I wish there was FNAF World 2.
Oh,
like,
that would be so cool.
Imagine all of the new animatronics in that game, like all of the animatronics.
Like, oh
You
my
see,
gosh, up to glam rocks and
You-
stuff.
Yeah, Yusan is pretty much the opposite of FNAF World. Like, it's basically the FNAF World 2, but the opposite.
Yeah, it's like the mirror side.
And we can actually see the enemies from FNAF World in the Yusan on the table sometimes.
Yeah, they're crossing
So
over.
perhaps that means that maybe when we defeat an enemy in FNAF World, it like drops into Yusan.
Yeah, I've always thought that was like to imply to us that like the borders between these two worlds are very thin, and sometimes little enemies will just cross right over.
Yeah, I think it's just like kinda like heaven and the other side.
Yeah, so
The
it's like
underworld.
Hades.
The
Yeah.
nether.
Not to completely change the subject, but do you remember in Mengel's Quest, there's a giant people thought it was the puppet, and it's kneeling down and it has big tear tracks.
It's in the same pose as the bite victim at the end of FNAF 4.
Yeah,
And so people
yeah.
thought that the bite victim was Puppet.
Yeah, and
to be
that was
honest,
before
it's
FNAF
kinda
4.
confusing because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all like, it's just like a random fact that just kinda doesn't really lead up to anything. It's just there.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain. It's like along with there's a tree with like 3 balloon boys that are grayed out. That goes unexplained.
A tree with that children underneath it.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Does that remind you of anything?
Is it? Oh,
FNAF?
it's the FNAF 6 Tombstone ending.
Yeah. Look, FNAF 3. Wait, look. FNAF 3. A tree with dead kids underneath.
Yeah.
FNAF 6. A tree with dead kids underneath. Like, there are like 3 games. FNAF 9. 3 games.
Yeah.
And there's a tree with 2 people underneath. Freddy, who is serious to be possessed by someone, and Gregory.
Yeah.
This is an interesting pattern.
Yeah, that's a really interesting pattern because Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF World are connected. It seems these games are also connected.
Actually, in this, remember in FNAF UCN there was a cutscene with Freddy underneath a tree.
Yeah.
And the Freddy represents Henry.
Yes.
And
yes.
Glamour Freddy is serious sometimes to be Henry. Anyways, let's return to Puppet again.
Yeah. The last thing I had on FNAF 3 was that interesting puppet appearance before. It kind of looks like Crying Child before FNAF 4, but we didn't know who that was back then.
Yeah, like it's real confusing and out of place.
Yeah, it's like a giant puppet tree or something. It's a
Unlike the tree with dead kids, this one can be explained.
yeah. So
Like-
wonder if in Ruin DLC maybe we'll actually learn what this puppet figure is.
I don't think that would happen, but I think the FNAF Ruin DLC might reveal something. Like about the new events, like who is the patient 46, or at least give us a hint.
That would
and
be
all of
so
that.
cool.
Like, We keep going back to FNAF Fazbear for some reason.
It's
Let's
okay,
go back to FNAF 3 or FNAF 4 at least.
It tends to happen.
Okay, that's all the time we have for this episode of the Fazbear Friday Show. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you tune in next time because we'll get into the puppet's role in FNAF 4 and Sister Location. See you then. Now it's a Fazbear Friday. It's like you always used to say. Fox go and now you're here to stay. Go soul searching all day.